Hi, I'm Claire and this is Top 5 Wednesdays, my top 5 bookish habits. I really wanted to do this topic because it sounded really fun, but I don't really have many kind of bookish rituals, but I do have very wide patterns as to how I function as a reader. And the first one of those is that I am a multiple book reader. I will always have several books on the go at once just because I like to mix up genre and tone, especially now that I have a Kindle and that I also listen to a lot of audiobooks. I always have at least one thing in each of those going at one time. At the moment, I am listening to the audiobook of A Dance with Dragons, which is the 5th book in the Song of Ice and Fire series by George R. R. Martin. I am reading a book on my Kindle called 2 to 10K by Rachel Aaron, which is a writing book. I'm also reading 2 non-fiction books for research for my novel. We've got The Victorian House by Judith Flanders and Blood and Guts, A Short History of Medicine by Roy Porter. And finally, the paperback that sits next to my bed is Maplecroft by Sherry Priest, and this is a beautiful, beautiful novel I am really enjoying. And my second bookish habit probably stems a bit from the fact that I read a lot of different things at the same time. It's that actually I have no problem at all not finishing a book. I'm very much a mood reader, and if I'm reading a book, even a good book that I would otherwise enjoy, but I'm not in the right frame of mind, I'll just put it down, and very often I just don't pick it up again. I have a lot of books that I've started and not finished, and it doesn't necessarily mean that I won't ever finish them or that I don't like them. There is, for me personally, a very big difference between a book that I dislike and choose to stop reading, and a book that I just put down and don't pick up again for a little while. My third bookish habit has to do with being a really excitable reader. When I'm reading a book and I'm really, really enjoying it, I find it really difficult not to kind of be reading like a bit of an excitable puppy. There'll be a really good piece of dialogue and my eyes will dart to the next page straight away to see what this guy is saying, and I'm skipping a big bunch of description because I just want to know what happens. And I can very easily just miss important things because I was too keen to know what happens. So sometimes what I like to do is read aloud to myself, especially if the dialogue is really, really good, because that forces me to slow down and take things in properly. So my fourth bookish habit is that I'm actually really obsessed with audiobooks. I love being read to. I know it doesn't work for everyone, but for me, getting the story through someone reading it to me is basically the best thing. So I cook with audiobooks. I am always listening to an audiobook when I'm cooking every single day. If I have an entire day of chores to do, I will also put in an audiobook, but cooking is the one chore or household thing that I do every single day, and so it's become a little bit of a ritual that I put in a book when I am making food. And finally, in number 5 is a really, really, really bad habit that I managed to break. When I was a teenager, I would always mark my page by dog-earing the books, and it drove my mother up the wall. We just read a lot of the same books, my mother and I, and so whenever she would come to a book that I'd already read that had dog-eared corners, she would be really, really annoyed with me. And I suppose now that I'm paying money to build my own book collection, I have to agree that dog-earing books is something that I do not want to do anymore ever, but I'm really bad at keeping bookmarks, so I will put elastic bands in the book or a pen, tear off a piece of a post-it note or something like that. I'm just really bad at having a bookmark beside my bed. So this was 5 of my bookish/reading habits. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had fun examining how weird I am about books. Let me know in the comments below if you have some similar or dissimilar bookish/reading habits to mine, and if you want to be part of the Top 5 Wednesday community on Goodreads, there is a link in the description box below. So if you'd like to see more videos from me, I've got a book haul just up here, and if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button for more videos from me every week. I've been Claire, thanks so much for watching, and see you soon.